You found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, we're going to break down the injury report heading into the game versus Brooklyn. We're also going to preview that game and then ask the question, is DeMar DeRozan going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done? We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, it wouldn't be a Bulls game day if the injury report was clean. As of right now, Zach LaVine, Ayo Coby, and Coby White are all questionable for tonight's game. Andre Drummond has officially been ruled out. Now, I know when we talked about this on yesterday's episode, you talked about how Vooch needs to dominate against the Brooklyn big men or lack thereof. Now, does that change at all with Andre Drummond being out? You still need 50 from Vooch?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it gives him more opportunity to do it, right? Like coming off of it's surprisingly right to say a couple of days rest. What was our game? Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. So a couple of games rest. You kind of saw the rotation you're probably going to get from the big man spot in there. You're going to get a little bit of DJJ, which DJJ on Embiid was hilarious, by the way. I laughed every time we saw it.
He didn't back down, though. He didn't back down.
No, he got back down.
Though. I mean, yes, but he didn't back down. I mean, you can only do so much when you're underway. I mean, listen.
You know what I mean?
He didn't get picked up and carried away, though.
He did not get Tony Bradley. Man, think about how bad you got to be. As a play, Marco, Tony, Kostas, all of them. Couldn't even get in when it's not another 6'10" dude on the team. Anyway, but no, I think that this is a game where Vooch has the opportunity to absolutely go off for a big game. I don't know if he'll actually get 50. Vooch's career high, by the way, versus Chicago Bulls is 43 points. So I don't know. I would love to see Vooch get his first 50-point game ever versus the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're probably the best team to do it. But I don't expect to see. I'm hoping for more than what I'm gonna get, but I think with the injury report, right, like you saw kind of how Billy's gonna run it. There's gonna be some guys. I think Zach probably does end up playing. Ayo, I don't know about, just because of them being cautious with him with the neck and upper back. And who else was it? It was one more, right? Wasn't it 4? Oh, Coby White. That changes your rotation a little bit, and that maybe we see some more Dalen time. Dalen was a little nervous in his first time in the NBA. Dalen looked visibly nervous.
Oh, Dalen definitely looked nervous. So with that being said, do you think that Billy Donovan does need to work Dalen into, like I said, 6 to 8 minutes, something to get his nerves together? Because listen, the one thing you can't really bet on in the NBA in general is health, but then as well as you are going to be giving Zach LaVine rest days, do you think that they need to start working Dalen Terry in there a little bit more? Because you can tell that he only played 3 minutes against Philly, and you can tell those 3 minutes that boy was shaking in his boots.
Oh yeah, he was visibly shaking. I think that there's a it depends on what situation you're in, right? Like Dalen Terry, like the idea of working him in sounds great, right? But when you're down 19 in the first, it's a tough time to work in your rookie to say, hey, go out there and keep getting cooked. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on the situation that the Bulls are in versus Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn's a team that the Bulls can absolutely go in there and handle, even with their limitations health-wise, right? But you got to see it. You got to see what the team does. You got to see how the team comes out, and I think that's the situation where you work Dalen. Because the thing that you don't want to do is put them in a situation where, hey, go out there and guard Kyrie Irving. We know you're finna get your head kicked in, but do your best. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what we want to see.
Yeah. This injury report for me, like, and I don't even know why they play it with Zach. Like, is he going to rest this game or is he going to rest the next one? He's not, like, are they going to start letting him play back-to-back? So they're going to try to keep the minutes low What's happening there? Like, it's so many questions around Zach. Zach is always going to be on the injury report to one way or another until they're not doing this management thing. But it just I don't know, bro. If you had to pick between this game and the Charlotte game, which game are you resting Zach in? Because I'm resting him in the Charlotte game, if anything.
I would rest him in the Charlotte game. I think you have to rest him in the game where you feel like you're going to need him least, right? Like, and to me, Charlotte's just not a good basketball team. Charlotte's won some games here that they shouldn't have won, but they don't look like a good basketball team. The Brooklyn Nets don't either, right? I guess you could take your pick or poison here, but it's not. It doesn't feel like we would need our full slate of weapons or even half of our slate of weapons. And that feels like a game where you can work in a Dalen Terry to me, right? Like this game to me, not even just because if for anything, right, to say by the end of the season, if Brooklyn does figure it out, hey, we beat the Brooklyn Nets when it was Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, give you a little bit of a boost mentally on that, because we know towards the end of the season, right, like the Bulls would get down in those games versus top teams, and they just didn't have the mental stability to stay in that game. They fold. Yeah. And I think that it does a little bit more for you mentally if you come into that game and you say, hey, we kicked the crap out of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And to me, I think I would focus more there for playing Zach LaVine over Charlotte. I don't know. I mean, do you think that here's the thing, right? Is this a time where maybe you let Zach play both of the back-to-backs? I know that we've done one on, one off, but this is two games where there's nobody on Brooklyn that I think can guard Zach. And there's definitely nobody on Charlotte that can guard Zach. No, I was right. There's nobody LaMelo, but like I don't know if they'll have LaMelo playing them. Do you think that this is maybe a game where you have them play both games?
I mean, considering after Wednesday's game we don't play again until Friday, I may, but keep the minutes low against Charlotte. But again, the way that that's what I would do. But the way that this team's been showing things, is like I don't know if they'll do things the way that. But yeah, if it was up to me, I would definitely let them play full against Brooklyn. It's also on TNT, and that does matter as much as you know people try to act like it doesn't.
Windows net. Another thing we struggle with, another stigma we're trying to break. National TV games.
And then Wednesday, I think maybe you go ahead and start them and just say, hey, listen, you got 16 minutes this game.
Yeah.
And that's all we got for you, because then you have another nationally televised game Friday, but then you have another day of rest before you go into another back-to-back. So he may play both these games back-to-back because there's a lot of rest surrounding. There's at least a full day rest on either side of the other game. So
a lot of rest. It's just so much rest for us. It's like, bro.
I mean, and we'll talk about it when we get into the next segment. Like, it's going to be one of the first times that we are actually going into a game with the rest advantage tomorrow. So, shout out to that. But, hey, it is what it is there. This Drummond thing, how concerned are you about this Drummond injury?
He came down hard. I'm not too concerned about it. I think it's more muscle issue than anything. I mean, I called it when it happened. I thought it was a dirty play. I believe it was Zach Collins that got up underneath him. I thought it was a little bit dirty at first, but then you see it, and it's literally just Drummond jumping up, Collins trying to box out, and he just came down awkwardly and just wasn't able to brace himself. So he slammed hard. It's a big body hitting the floor after jumping, right? So I'm not overly concerned about it. I mean, for the most part, Andre Drummond has been a pretty good player at playing through smaller things outside of like ankle injuries and stuff like that. So I think if Drummond could go, I think this is probably a game where Drummond could go. This is probably the Bulls, who have been overly cautious with their players this season, again being overly cautious and saying, yeah, we know you can go, but you know what? There's nobody down there that can grab a rebound outside of Kyrie Irving. So just sit this one out.
And they very well could be looking at it as well, like, hey, let's get you as much rest as possible leading into that Boston game and Toronto, because the length of both those teams, not Boston, because they're going to dominate Boston size-wise, as long as Noah Vonleh is the one out there. But, they may be trying to get him some rest as much. Bro,
Noah Vonleh looks like old P. Will.
Bro, you say that every time this man's name come up, bro. It's hilarious.
Hey, this is the funny thing. He said every time. We've only mentioned Noah Vonleh 3 times because it was during the game, after the game, and as we're about to play him again. Nobody's talking about Noah Vonleh. Nobody's talking about Noah Vonleh, bro. Who's talking about Noah?
Wasn't Noah Vonleh a lottery pick at that too?
I got you one better. Wasn't Noah Vonleh a lottery pick by Michael Jordan?
Was that right?
Wasn't he a Charlotte Bobcats pick?
Yeah, but that would have been before. I think that was before Jordan took over the team.
Was it?
He was drafted in 2014, so that was 8 years ago. When did Jordan take over the?
Oh, he definitely had the team by then.
Did he?
He definitely had the team by then.
I don't remember.
I love that this is the path we're going down with Noah Vonleh just because of how bad Noah Vonleh.
No, Jordan bought the Bobcats in 2010.
Yeah, I was gonna say he bought them when they were the Bobcats. He didn't change the name back until the Pelicans switched.
That's crazy.
To the Pelicans. Is Noah Vonleh a Charlotte pick?
Yes, so he was drafted by Jordan.
I know my trash players that Jordan picked.
He didn't learn from the Kwame Brown thing at all. But
hey, what's an Emeka Okafor looking like?
He did not draft Emeka. He didn't draft Okafor. But anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to get into the next topic. We're going to preview the actual game. But first, got to talk to you guys about LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have the access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. You add your job with the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rank LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions, of course, apply. All right, Pat.
Hold on. Well, thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to bringing stories in sport, or biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes. Local experts and insight that only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
That's a hell of a read there, Pat. Hell of a read.
That whole ending part of it.
I mean, listen.
That was like you saying Audacity all the time.
Hey, listen. I corrected it, though. We corrected it. But nonetheless, bro, we got to talk about this game coming up against Brooklyn. Brooklyn got their second win of the season last night as well. They are now 2-5. They're coming off they're going to be on a back-to-back tonight. So the Bulls have the rare rest advantage in this game. What are some of the keys you're looking for in this game? What are you looking for the Bulls to do?
Uchi! That's my key. That's my key. You better destroy. Now, hold up. I ain't even watched the game. Haven't seen nothing about, because they were playing Indiana, and I thought they were going to dog walk them, and they didn't. How many rebounds? I mean, how many rebounds Nick Claxton have last night?
Nick Claxton last night had 9 rebounds.
Nice day.
Nice day.
Nikola Vucevic is getting 14 on a. I woke up this morning. Nikola Vucevic, hold on. He just grabbed a rebound.
Wow.
Hey, you better dominate the night. No, honestly, a real breakdown. The one part, and I think we talked about this a little bit last night, but the one part to me that the Chicago Bulls cannot do, you cannot see what you've seen from them in these last few games. 2 out of the 3 games, you've gone down 19. I understand Brooklyn's a bad team. I don't believe in Kevin Durant. I don't think Steve Nash is a good head coach. I don't believe in Kevin Durant. Wait a minute. I don't believe that Kevin Durant is nope. I don't even know how to fix that. I don't believe in this Nets team as a whole, I should say. I guess that's the way to fix that. I do believe in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I don't believe that Steve Nash is a good head coach, but if you go down big to this Nets team, they have the firepower to absolutely keep you where you're at. Defensively, you might be able to score, but if you have a 37-22 quarter to this Nets team, it will continue to happen. They can score. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are both averaging 30-plus points per game this season. You cannot go down big to them. If you keep the game close, you're in there.
I see, but that may be the problem with that team, right, is that as far as for them, not for us, is that they are so top heavy. Their scoring is coming from mainly from those two players. If you can make it difficult for them, like I said, I'm never gonna say stop either one of those because we try to be realistic here. But if you can slow them, if you can force them to have inefficient nights, that is how you find success against Brooklyn because they suck defensively. They're trash defensively.
They are awful. They're the worst team. I'm gonna be honest with you. The numbers might not even say it. They're the worst team I've seen defensively in the NBA. And I watched an OKC game this year. And OKC's not that. They're not that bad. They're bad. They're not that bad.
The Brooklyn Nets are averaging 113 points per game. You just said it. Their two top players are averaging over 30 points. It's over half their points coming from two people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you talk about defensively. They are the worst team defensively right now. They are 30th in the NBA, allowing 122 points per game.
And the Bulls can. And here's the thing, right? On a bad nights, we've seen the Bulls get 120 plus points.
Yeah.
So I think the thing for the Bulls is what we've seen early in the season. Do you think that the Bulls start off games playing the other team's game, and that's what's led to a lot of these deficits that have caused issues? Because that could absolutely be a problem in Brooklyn. I feel like we saw that in San Antonio. I feel like we saw that in Boston. I think they correct it, and they do a good job kind of getting back to their game, but you spend so much time just playing the other team's game.
This is true. And the thing that I want to see what this Bulls team do in this game, man, I want to see them set the tone defensively. We need to see the starters actually I don't want to see the defensive intensity hit this huge uptick once the bench players come in. Like the starters, you got to know what you have to do. You got Kyrie and Kevin Durant on the other side of that. You have to stop them. And also, you got to stop letting these role players go off on you, bro. We got to stop letting these role players have their career nights against us. We gave 2 contracts to players last season on the opposite ends of the court because of them having big nights against us. We cannot keep letting this happen, brother.
Hey, bro, who's the guy? Who's the guy you're most worried about having a career night against us on
I told you in yesterday's episode, for real, Joe Harris. I'm just worried that Joe Harris, who averages 11 points for his career against the Bulls, he's just going to come in and have a 32-point night.
What's that corner 3 percentage looking like?
For Joe Harris?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I thought you had Joe Harris numbers. I was gonna say.
I wish I had it up in front of me.
What's that corner 3 percentage looking like? Because Joe Harris, man, I mean, listen, he's somebody that can shoot the ball well. The Bulls have absolutely struggled guarding the 3 ball this season. I mean, he's shooting. Good Lord, it's in Brooklyn.
Yes,
he's shooting 44% from the 3-point line in Brooklyn.
This could get ugly, brother. This could get ugly.
Now, is that steals per game? Never mind. Yeah, no, he's shooting 44%, and hey, listen, don't lose him. I mean, how are you lining this up defensively, right? Let's say Ayo's able to go, Zach's able to go, Kobe's off of the bench, but how are you lining this thing up defensively? You going Ayo on Kyrie? He will on KD. I guess you kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely Ayo and Kyrie. That's a foregone conclusion. Let's get Ayo another son.
Let's hope, man. Hey, you son him, I'll stand up and clap.
Are you but okay, so you're saying P. Will on Kevin Durant, so you're having DeMar guard Ben Simmons?
I think that we could put the chair that DeMar sits in when he sits down in front of Ben Simmons to guard Ben Simmons.
You know what? Maybe that's the player we need to worry about having a big night. What if Ben Simmons puts it together against the Chicago Bulls, bro?
He figures out, hey, I can dunk.
I'm telling you right now, if Ben Simmons hits a 3 in the first quarter, I'm done.
Hey,
I'm just like, I'm done.
No locked on Bulls tonight.
I'm done.
No locked on Bulls tonight. No. I don't know. I guess I could live with DeMar or Zach guarding Ben Simmons. Because literally it's like either you're going to push me all the way to the bucket or you're not going to make it.
But you know what? Honestly, I mean, you made a good point. I know you joked about the chair, but I wouldn't hate DeMar on Ben only because, like,
you made a good point.
It's been like literally the guy's been allergic to offense all season.
Hey, bro, somebody, I tweeted this out. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Somebody called Ben Simmons a stormtrooper. Hey, now this gonna look real bad if he go off and bust us for like 40 tonight.
Man.
Just dunking the ball in layups. But somebody called Ben Simmons a stormtrooper.
Oh man.
And I've been laughing for 3 days off of that, bro.
That's too accurate, bro. That is too accurate. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Wow.
I said, hey,
Wow.
God level joke, my good sir.
I
applaud you.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons
that's
a stormtrooper.
That's next level there, brother. But that's it on the game tonight. Let's move into the last topic for today, brother.
Well, what you got for a prediction?
What I got for a prediction, I'm predicting there will be a game tomorrow, and there will be a winner of that game.
Oh, okay, you gonna be that guy?
There will be a winner. No, I'm predicting this
because if we lose, the chat's gonna come after us for our prediction.
Exactly. No, I'm gonna make an actual prediction. I'm gonna say the Bulls win this game 116 to 109.
I'm going to I'm gonna be the one that gets killed. I'm gonna say the Bulls win this game 122 104.
All right, we'll see.
That our defense versus everything.
No, that's not okay. But okay, so you're doing that, but what if Ayo, Zach, and Coby? What if two out of those three don't play?
Then we're talking about a probably your score, if not higher, but I think a closer game. Yeah, but
okay.
If you're missing, I'm expecting at least Zach to play. I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's been so much rest. He's not hurt or anything. It's just same thing. Questionable with what is it? Knee load management. That's what they call it.
It was originally knee load management. The one game they did change it to knee injury management.
Injury management, bro. Yeah. They're trying to find a good name for it so that the NBA don't come finding them.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But one of the things that we missed over the course of the weekend was DeMar DeRozan entering the 20,000 points club. Well deserved. Just shout out to DeMar DeRozan. But this has opened up a broader conversation on, is DeMar DeRozan a Hall of Famer? Never winning an MVP, never winning a title. And it is and I think sometimes people forget it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So it takes into consideration all your basketball accomplishments, collegiate, what he's done internationally. He does have a title ring. I mean, not a title, he did win a Olympics, right? He has an Olympic gold medal. That's what it is. He has a gold medal. So do you think with that, he's entering an exclusive club? Most of the 20,000 club that's not active is in the Hall of Fame. There are a few that isn't. Do you think DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer?
I think the tough part is, right, like the only thing that might even come close to keeping him out of that is that at the end of that, right, like I think you have like Antonio Daniels has 20,000 points, and it's like, yeah, but you just played forever. But I think that when you look at DeMar DeRozan's game and the fact that there's only 50 players to do what he's done, and most of those players just stayed forever in the league. Like DeMar's in year, what, 15? 14? Like, he's done this fairly quickly, and he scored over 2,000 points on the Chicago Bulls already. It's been a resurgence to his career. Eastern Conference final. I think you got to at least consider him with everything else for the Hall of Fame. Like, I know it's not a lock,
yeah,
but I do think that you have to consider him.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm not saying he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No. He would probably get in one of those years where it's like, who else we got? And it's still like, hey, listen, you still making the Hall of Fame, but it's like, hey, you got to look at DeMar DeRozan at this point, right? Like, and how many assists does he have career?
Assists. Let's see if I can find that. Give me 1 second, brother.
Because that might even boost his numbers as well. You know what I mean? Like, that might get him to the point where,
damn, LaMarcus Aldridge is in the 20,000.
Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some players that you look at and you're like, yeah, but is he really a Hall of Famer? Like, are you throwing LA in the Hall of Fame?
No.
It makes it tough. DeMar DeRozan only has 3,761 assists. I thought he might have had more, but I guess he really was only passing when he was in San Antonio. So
That's crazy.
I just look at DeMar DeRozan. How much success? I know not NBA championship success, but how much success he had in Toronto. How much success he's had here in Chicago, and I think you have to look at him, right? Like, there's a couple of players, like I said, that are ahead of him, but again, right, you start looking at their career and you're like, yeah, but you played a long time. And I don't think DeMar 2010. He's only in year 13. 20,000 points in 13 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He's not too far off Steph. The fact of the matter is the fact that Steph has scored 20,281 points and as many 3-pointers as he shoots, but DeMar is 20,050 points. It's crazy that there's not bigger gap between
I didn't even think about that. It's 20K literally on all middies.
That's crazy, bro.
He might be a Hall of Famer, dog.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know. I think, like we said, it's not going to be a first ballot, you dig? But you look, he might be a Hall of Famer, dog. And a Wilt record.
That's
and it's wild, right? Because this is the funny thing about it. You almost have to go through this process of like looking at what DeMar DeRozan has done, looking at DeMar DeRozan's accolades, and literally just going, hey, I think this dude might be a Hall of Famer. Like you have to almost convince yourself that DeMar DeRozan has done enough. 13 years, all twos.
So out of the players that are in the 20,000 club that are eligible that have been eligible for the Hall of Fame. Now the ones that are just becoming eligible this year are Dirk is just becoming eligible this year. Dwayne Wade just becoming eligible this year. Paul Gasol is just becoming eligible this year. So that's it. They of course aren't in because they just became eligible. Yeah. Joe Johnson has not gotten in yet. He's not eligible as of yet. Antoine Jameson isn't in. Tony Chambers isn't in. And
that's it.
That's it. Everybody else who's in the 20,000 club is either not eligible or they're still active. The only players that are eligible and inactive are Tony Chambers and Antoine Jameson. DeMar DeRozan's a Hall of Famer.
Now, granted, outside of no, I was gonna say there's some that are still active that don't have it, but I was gonna say most of the people on this list also have a ring to accompany them with.
This is true.
With their Hall of Fame career. But I mean, he's only 30 points behind Steph. That's wild.
That's crazy.
He's 30 points behind Steph.
No, he's more than 30. He's 130 behind Steph. Do your math, brother.
Where's he at? Oh, I didn't see the 2. I thought it said 20,081. No, yeah. That's still crazy. Hey, listen, that math. Yeah, that math.
He did say he went to public school.
That math don't be math. And I was a public school student. I graduated. Don't know how, but I made it through, baby. And my teachers wrote on every report card, talks too much. So it worked out.
Though that they are that close, considering that DeMar hasn't made that many 3-pointers in his career. Shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for being at the top for now. We know LeBron's probably going to pass him this season, and Kareem only ever made 1 3-pointer his whole career.
That's wild as well.
That's crazy.
Now granted, 69 to 89. That's a long career. This man played a 20-year career. That's a long career. But nah, man, I think, let us know in the comments below how you guys feel, man. I know, like, when you hear the name, when you look at the top of it, when you just kind of focus in on, yes, DeMar DeRozan, he was DeFrozen. He was the guy that always lost in Toronto to LeBron. He was the guy that just wasn't able to get it done versus LeBron. There's a lot of Hall of Famers who couldn't get it done versus Michael Jordan. I mean, you're talking about 5-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Second Team, Pac-10 tournament MVP. I don't know if that does anything for him. Probably not. Gold medalist. 2-time gold medalist. He might be a Hall of Famer. That's crazy. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, man. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan for age 33, changing the game out here, man. Or taking the game back, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, only 413 3-pointers made his whole career. Steph Curry, 3,151. And the fact that there's only less than 200 points that separate them for their career is crazy.
That's wild.
That's crazy. That man's a Hall of Fame.
I'm really sitting here. I'm just like, bro, that is wild. How is that possible?
That's wild.
How is that possible? And he's probably made a good chunk of the 3-pointers that he's made here.
That's wild, fam. That's crazy, man. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan for just getting it done.
I love how the end of this episode, I know Buzz are going to listen to this and be like, are they really just marveling over DeMar DeRozan? But I'm telling you, as a basketball fan, watching somebody in the modern day, DeMar was drafted in 2009. He's basically been in the modern day NBA his entire time in the league.
Yeah.
And he has not changed, and he has not stopped being good.
That's crazy, bro.
Let's get out of
That's
here, bro.
wild.
We just gonna keep saying that's crazy.
Listen,
that's
because I mean that's what
wild.
it is. Like you said, because there's a difference between basketball fans and basketball nerds, right? I love the game. I'm a Bulls fan first, but I love the game of basketball, and I respect so much about the game of basketball for what DeMar has accomplished. As a basketball fan, you have to acknowledge it's special. Yeah. You have to acknowledge it's special. It's crazy, like. So yeah, shout out to DeMar for just doing this thing. Go ahead, brother.
Outside of one dude, maybe two, he's better than everybody who was drafted ahead of him. Not better than Curry. Harden lately, but probably not for his career. Harden's got an MVP.
Yeah, not for the career.
Not for the career. Outside of that, Blake Griffin, Hasheem Thabeet, Ricky Rubio, Johnny Flynn, wild that they
Hasheem Thabeet and Johnny Flynn.
Wow. Remember the Timberwolves picked 2 point guards? Then Stephen Curry, and then Jordan Hill. DeMar DeRozan went 9th. The Knicks picked Jordan Hill 8th.
That's crazy. Hey, shout out to them, brother. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, let's get up out of here, man. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. I know we're just sitting here just going, wow. Hey, man, as always, man, y'all stay safe out there.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. And thank you for tuning in and making Locked On Bulls your first listen. For your next listen, check on Locked On Sports Today podcast, the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. I'm out this mug. Peace out.
We took James Johnson before Drew Holiday.